Okay, to do a report, you will log into Clockwork. You will then click Extra, and you will click Clockwork Reports. Here you will need to log in again. Okay, and this has been the way that we have found to get the most accurate report of students who have been approved for accommodations for the semester. Okay, so on the left hand side where it says accurate report, you will click the plus sign, and then you will double click accurate report. And for the dates, I have found that we get the best, all of the students, if we do from the beginning of registration of the semester we're looking for to the end of the semester. So for fall 2021, I'm going way before registration and then a couple weeks after class is over, and I'll click Run Report. Okay, and so what we'll see here is it has various columns, and these are just what's already set up within the report. Okay, and so if I want to see the students that are approved for fall, I will click on term, the little funnel. I will click all, the little checkbox, so it unchecks everything, and then I click the semester I want. If I want the report to also include the classes going on in that time frame for continuing education, I will click the appropriate quarter. Okay, but for here we're going to do fall 2021. Click OK. And then what we need to do is do Control A, so it selects everything on the screen. Control C, so it copies it, or no, just Control A, and then do Move Rows to New Tab. We need to do this because if we were to do anything else with the previous report, it will automatically change back to all of the terms. And so when we move it to a new tab, it keeps just the information we had on the screen. Okay, now we have to basically run 2 reports from here to get an accurate look of what we're really needing. So we're going to scroll over to where it says Status and click on the funnel. We're going to click all so that it unchecks everything, and then click Approved. Click OK. And so this gives us students whose accommodations were approved, most likely through the student portal. So we're going to do Control A. We're going to open Excel. Okay, back on the reports, we've got Control A, Control C to copy everything, and then in Excel, the very first thing we're going to do Control V, and it pastes everything. Then we're going to scroll down to the very end, and this is where we'll paste the second portion of the report. So in Clockwork Reports, we'll go back. Under Status, click the funnel, click the checkbox for all, click it again, so it has all of them, click OK. And then we're going to move over and do under Date Letter Issued, click the funnel, click Not Null, so it's not empty, okay, and click OK. And so these are all students that had their letter issued either through the portal or through the office. I found that the ones where it's approved, not all of them have a letter issued, and so that's why we have to do both of them. So we've done Control A to select all, Control C, and then we come back over to Excel under the last one and do Control V, so it pastes all of those. And then on this one, it redid all the headings, so we'll highlight it, right click, and do delete. Okay. So one of the things that is weird about this is now you have all of it pasted, but you do have some students whose letters were approved that did show up in date letter issued. So we need to remove all of those duplicates. So on the top in the ribbon, we'll click data, and then we're going to click this one and it's remove duplicates. Expand the selection, remove duplicates, and we're going to keep everything checked because we want it to compare every single column and make sure the information is the exact same so that it removes all but one of those rows. And that way we have a clear, it's this student with this class with these accommodations, just one time for each one. Okay, so we click OK. It found 182 duplicate values that were found and removed, and then we have 1,858 unique values. So these are all of our students that have accommodations approved for this semester, but there's one row for each of their classes. Okay, so it seems like a lot. We can go back to data and do remove duplicates, expand the selection, remove duplicates, and if we want to only see one line per student, so I just want to see how many students there are. I don't need to see, each student in each of their classes. So I'm going to unselect all because I only want it to compare student number, so it sees all the ones that are the same student number and it removes all of them but one. Okay, so I do OK. 1,225 duplicate values found and removed. 633 unique values remain. So there's 633 students district-wide that have been approved and are receiving services for this semester. Okay. Now there's a lot of information that you can get from this report. You kind of have to play with it to make sure that you're getting the information that you actually want. For example, if I wanted to see primary campus, how many students are from a primary campus, I could use exactly where I'm at right now, scroll over, and column BV is the primary campus. Column BQ is the primary disability. Okay. Now then, if I'm wanting to see how many students are taking classes on Northwest only, then I would have actually not removed all the duplicate students. So I'm going to go back a couple of steps. Okay. And I would filter my campus, click on home, sort and filter, sort A to Z, and I'm going to delete all the ones that don't have classes on Northwest. So this is column J. All right, so now I only have students with each of their classes at Northwest. So if I want to see just how many students I have, I would do data, do remove duplicates. Again, we want to delete the, only compare the student number, click OK. So 173 duplicate values are found and removed, 102 unique values remain. So there's 102 students with approved accommodations at Northwest Campus for this semester. Okay. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to show you one more thing. Within the Clockwork reports, some other things that we can do is we have students who have other as their disability. We can cross-reference this. So we click cross-reference and we scroll down under disability, we have other with the checkbox, so that means that one was checked off, and then other with this little white box. That is text, so there's text in this. So if I click that, click select, then the report that's going to come up is going to show the ones that have that other, what the text is in that other. So you have to scroll all the way to the end. For the funnel under other 2, we're going to click not null, again not empty, click OK. So here are all the what was in writing under other for students that had other listed. Okay. The other thing we can do is, if I wanted to see, we have a lot of students that have secondary disabilities listed, right? So if I wanted to see, okay, I know how many students have deaf as their primary disability, but how many have it as their secondary disability? I can go to cross-reference, again scroll down to disabilities. Primary disability, that's what's already on this report. But if I go to deaf and I click this box, the report it's going to pull is, it's going to have the students that have deaf as a secondary disability. So it's pulled the report. I'm going to scroll all the way to the right. Okay, here's deaf. Here's the funnel. I'm going to click not null. Click OK. And so we have 4 students that have deaf as their secondary disability. Okay, I hope this was helpful.